Hey, it's Peter Morley, your patient advocate, and I've always told you that awareness is key. I'm sitting here with Senator Tim Kaine from Virginia, U.S. Senator, and he has shared his own personal story of having long COVID. A lot of you have reached out to me and asked, how is Senator Kaine doing? Well, Senator Kaine is going to tell you how he's doing and going to give you a message of hope.
Hey, so I shared my long COVID story. I got COVID in March of 2020, and I got a mild case of COVID, but I had some unusual symptoms that seemed more like allergic reactions gone wild than what we were then thinking were the traditional long COVID symptoms. After a few days, the symptoms went away except for one, which is all my nerve endings feel like they're dipped in an alka seltzer, like 24/7, just kind of buzzing and tingling for 3 years now. My neurologist, I eventually, after thinking, oh, it'll go away next week, I eventually went to a neurologist after about 6 months. And he basically examined me and said, you're generally doing fine, but this nerve tingling thing, it is a neurological after effect of the virus. It may not get better. He said, it's probably not going to get worse, but it may not get better. And both of those have proven the case. So I still, even as I'm talking to you, Peter, I can feel this tingling thing everywhere. But by talking about it, we've encouraged some really good conversations. I had a superb roundtable with providers and people dealing with long COVID in Virginia a couple months back, and we are finding some hopeful signs. I'll give you two. Even though there's still questions like what causes it, we still don't know. But here's two hopeful signs. First, we are using treatments, like for example, a common condition is heart palpitations, heart rates go up and down. Well, there are treatments for that, not related to COVID, but that's a symptom that occurs because of other conditions. And they're treatments that are FDA approved, so they don't have bad side effects. We have found that some of those treatments, even if we don't know the cause, we can treat the symptom with a previously approved treatment and it works. So that's showing some promise. The other one is, I met somebody who had a horrible case of long COVID in Appalachian, Virginia. And this was the classic 35-year-old mother of three, nurse, and going to school, doing everything, always had boundless energy. COVID just completely knocked all her energy out for a couple of years. She eventually went to a doctor, and this was really causing huge life challenges, but also serious mental health issues. Like, am I going to be like this for the rest of my life? She went to a doctor who diagnosed and said, you have Hashimoto's disease. And she said, I'm 35, I didn't know that. He said, you might have had it your whole life, but it might have been at such a low level you didn't know it. But COVID could have, either knocked your immune system back or did something else that just took an existing condition and elevated it to where you're feeling it. She started to get treatment for Hashimoto's disease, and that also helped with all of her long COVID symptoms. So one way to look at COVID as a virus is it may activate underlying conditions that you might have and never even know you had. But if you can isolate what that condition is and treat the condition, you not only treat that, but then you end up reducing long COVID symptoms. So I'm pushing for more NIH research funding, better advice to patients and providers. We've got to let employers know about this because they may need to make reasonable accommodations for people. But we are finding some successful paths to help, if not cure it, helping people take the conditions that they really have been laboring under and dramatically improve those conditions.
I really appreciate you sharing this. Like I said, awareness is the key. And if we need to talk about this because that's how we know that there are people out there that need help. So thank you so much for being so brave and sharing your story, because it really impacted so many people.
Well, Peter, glad to. And just if you're dealing with long COVID and really suffering under it, we got a lot more work to do together with you.